How is everybody doing? It is me back here again for another wild adventure of Merlo's Movie Massacre. We have a special guest joining us tonight, but first, got all my plugs got to do. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to do this live stream because my wife is like this close to going into labor. If I have to jump off unexpectedly, that's why we're probably going to the hospital. Well, let's say hi to everybody in the chat first. First in the chat today was Drayton Sawyer, just in time for Halloween. Yes, more or less. Christian Spencer, hey, Christian, Drayton, who else? We got somebody else. Johnny Tardis, hey, Johnny, thank you for tuning in. Michelle Appollonia, and I think that's it so far. So far, so good. That's good. That's all good. So this is we're talking Halloween Kills here tonight. So hopefully you guys have all had a chance to see it because there will be spoilers. We will be talking spoilers with my guest. So keep that in mind. If you haven't seen it yet, you might not want to watch this yet. You might want to, just save it for later, and because we're going to talk about the movie, what we liked, what we didn't like, and all the stuff in between. Yeah, so hope you guys are doing well. I'll give my regular shout outs. We do have Michelle Appollonia in the chat today, so want to give a nice shout out to Breathless Beauties. Michelle does these awesome horror themed dolls. If you're new here, definitely go check them out. Her links are in the description for Breathless Beauties, where you can order them and chat with her and see what I believe it's free shipping in the US, so that's good. Anytime you get free shipping, that's good. So yeah, pretty awesome stuff. And then we've got Michelle Blasky from Miss 44, who I believe she's just seeing this right now. She does all this neat obscure art, a lot of cow themed stuff. I kind of like it. Love this cow with the shotgun. Yeah, just wonderful stuff. And there's our old buddy Leatherface. As you guys probably know, I'm heavy into Texas Chainsaw Massacre because I'm making a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film. Most of you guys probably know that by now. Of course you do. Of course you do. Probably sick of hearing me talk about it. But I'm going to do it anyways. But yes, the Michelle Appollonia from Breathless Beauties does the horror themed dolls, and Michelle Blasky does Miss 44. And speaking of Michelle Blasky, gotta give her another shout out because she's working her little buns off to prepare for an Indiegogo campaign. She is going to be making a unofficial sequel to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And it's a wonderful unofficial sequel called The Third Channel. If you're a fan of Halloween 3, you are going to love this. This is some artwork done by our good buddy Joe Lawrence. So this is not the official poster, mind you. That's a pretty awesome poster in my opinion. But yeah, man, it's I can't wait to see the official one. Oops, sorry about that. Wrong button. So very excited. I think that she's going to be able to get that up pretty soon. I've seen the trailer. I've read the script. I'm a producer on it. Really excited for Michelle on that. Hopefully she'll be joining the chat once she gets home from seeing the movie, which should be pretty soon. It'd be nice to see her in the chat talking about this movie though too. So there you go. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat just in case. Oh, it's so amazing. Love the crow doll. There you go, Michelle. Johnny Tardis loves the crow doll. Oh, and Drayton, sorry, I had no idea. Congrats to your family. Yes, that's one of the reasons why I don't get enough time to do this live stream as much anymore. It's I really want to, but between the baby coming, between the Sawyer Massacre pre-production stuff that we've got a lot of going on. I'll talk about some of that in a little bit here as well. Between all that and between helping Michelle with her fan film and everything going on, it's been a crazy time. Plus, I also had a new film premiere, just a short film of mine premiere at the Okanagan HorrorFest, which is the region I'm from in Canada. Disorder. So go check that out. The link is in the description for that. It'd be awesome if you guys went ahead and checked that movie out and gave me your support if you can. It's not a perfect film. It was a no budget film, basically. I mean, almost a no budget film. We made this order for about $200. So it turned out not bad for a little indie film. But we're excited about it. We think there's a good story in it, and it seems to be getting some love. I think I've heard some nice positive things from people, so that's important to me. But go check it out. Link is in the description for OSIF Horror Fest. Go check that out and vote for me in any category you want. There's a bunch of categories. You don't have to vote for me in every category, but vote for me if you can. Vote if you can. What else was I going to talk about? Oh man, so many plugs to give today. We've shout out to Michelle. I think that's all my main plugs. Oh, I know. I forgot to put their link in the description. My good friends from Slasher 15 Productions have just started a new Indiegogo campaign for their film Go Away. It's a post-production campaign, so they've already filmed it. They're just hoping to raise money for some good post-production, and they're doing very, very well so far. So if you get a chance to go on over to Indiegogo, go support Slasher 15's Go Away. And speaking of Indiegogos, you can still support the Sawyer Massacre as well. Links are in the description. We still got all kinds of awesome perks. We've added a bunch of perks pretty recently, so definitely go check it out. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. I'll just show some of the stuff we have here. Where is that new? Always forget where I put stuff. Oh, it doesn't matter. I won't bother. There's just so many things in my OBS window. I can't even find them all. Anyways, guys. But yeah, it's there. Did Drayton Sawyer saw it on Peacock? Okay, good for you. Hey, and Eric from He's Crafty is here as well. Thank you for tuning in. Mandy Cantone has joined in the chat as well. Awesome. Oh, and we also got Kyle Curtis Flett from Flett's House of Horror. Kyle Curtis Flett is on the verge of Flett's House of Horror. They're on the verge of hitting 100 subs. So go on over to their channel and just give them a sub if and help them hit that 100 mark. I'd like to see him hit 100 subs. He's a good dude. He's had me on his channel before, and that was a good chat, real good chat. And tonight we're going to chat Halloween Kills, and I hope everybody has seen it. Oh, and it looks like we also got Heather Loves Horror in here as well. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys have all seen Halloween Kills. I hope you have, because there's going to be heavy spoilers in this. Heavy spoilers. I don't have one of those spoiler warning things. Sorry. I should make one. I probably should, but you're being warned now. So now I'll get to introducing my guest. My guest is an associate producer on the Sawyer Massacre. He's also a business sponsor in the Sawyer Massacre. He's a huge supporter of the Sawyer Massacre and a wonderful podcaster. All his podcast links in his website, his Beacons link, basically, so you can check out all his links. Is in the description, so definitely go check it out. It's Mr. John Evans from Behind the Fiends. How are you doing there, John?
Pretty good. How's everybody doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I think everybody in the chat's doing pretty good for the most part. Everybody seems pretty happy to be here. So good to have you on. This is the first time having you on this live stream, so this will be kind of a fun discussion. Is there anything you want to talk about as far as Behind the Fiends goes? The podcast, how long you've been doing it, all that kind of stuff?
Well, I do want to say the Beacons link. If any of you all are actually trying to find an OnlyFans link in my Beacons, you're not going to find that. I'm sorry. That's off the table. But Slasher 15 Productions, I heard that you were mentioning them. They're actually going to be on the podcast here in the near future.
Oh, great. Who's going to be on? Is it going to be like Michael or Jamie or Dave?
I don't know. They just said they were going to be on. They didn't specify a name to me yet. But,
I know Dave is the director, but I'm probably more in touch with Michael and Jamie. They've been in my chats a few times. Great supporters, and they're both associate producers on the Sawyer Massacre as well. They were huge supporters. So, Yeah, that'll be a good episode. I can't wait to see that one, or hear that
And
one, I should say, I guess.
and then October 30th, I'm still trying to work it out. Hopefully it all comes together. But R.A. Lehman, who played young Jason in Friday the 13th Part 1, he was the creepy kid at the end that jumped up out of the lake.
Yeah, the first
he-
Jason ever.
Yep, he's going to hopefully be on the podcast. He's touring right now with his band, so it's tentative. So don't hold me to it.
There you go. Drayton Sawyer says, doing good. No COVID, thank God. Yeah, no kidding. I keep hearing more and more people still getting COVID. It's
Crazy world we're living in right now.
I hope people are getting vaccinated. I've been vaccinated, so I hope you all get vaccinated. I don't know. I know some people don't believe in vaccinations and make whatever choice you want, I guess. But I'm vaccinated.
Yeah, me too. Good old Moderna 1 and 2.
Oh, I got the Pfizer. I got
Oh.
Pfizer for both of them. There you go. I'm sure they're all the same, more or less, but more or less, I don't know.
I do have one more thing I want to put out. November 6th,
Sure.
and this kind of relates to you. November 6th, I am doing what I call my horror hangout, where I watch a movie and we all just get together and we chit chat and stuff. But my special guest is actually going to be your Leatherface, Scotty Parkin.
Ooh, very cool. I still have to have him on my live stream at one point. I just don't get around to doing it enough these days. But yeah, that'll be cool. It'll be awesome to have him on your show again.
And
He's obviously he's been on your show before.
Yeah, and we're watching, we're watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we're trying to do a fundraiser for the Susan G. Komen Foundation for breast cancer.
That's awesome. That's really good. That's a really good cause. So go support, everybody. Go support that fundraiser. You have links up for that as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You can actually go to my IG page right now and donate to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. 100% of that goes straight to them. I get none of it, so just follow the little donation tab in the page's description.
There you go. Do it, people. Do it. It's a good cause. It's a good cause. It is a good cause. Okay. Anything else you want to shout out to before we start? Before we get into the Halloween kills discussion?
Nope, done.
Okay. All right. So let's first start with the positives overall. I want to hear your thoughts. By the way, John, we both only seen the movie once, so it might change. Things might change on second viewings. Who knows? But you saw it on Peacock, and I saw it in the theater. I was trying to see it on Peacock, but I can't seem to get Peacock no matter what I do. I don't know if it's just not available in my region or whatever. Whatever. I saw it in theater. I said, whatever, let's go see it in theater and let's do it, which is probably a better experience anyways. But anyways, so let's just start with some initial thoughts. After you got out of the theater, how did you feel getting out of the theater, seeing this movie? What was your first kind of reaction to it?
Well, anybody that was there for the live stream, because me and Luke live streamed it, I liked it. I liked it, from the standpoint of what they were trying to do. I just felt like they were stepping on their own feet, so to speak. It just seemed like they tried to put too much into a 2-hour movie. And I was fine with the first act of it, the first half of it. And then when it got to the second half, that's when I was like, okay, it seems like they're just trying to cram little Easter eggs here and there. Hey, there's Lonnie, and hey, there's Tommy Doyle over here, and hey, look at this, and look at this, and that's okay. But at some point, that kind of waters down the overall story to me. Mm-hmm. That's just how I felt with the whole thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I understand. So, when you first got out of the theater, what were you think? Like, did it meet your expectations, or were your expectations let down?
I was somewhat kind of let down.
But you still kind of liked it to a degree. Okay. I had similar. I would say my feelings were similar coming out of the theater. Again, I needed time to process stuff, but but I knew that there was definitely things I didn't like about it. I don't think I could say it let me down because I kind of felt like I knew a lot of what was going to happen in this. It was, I don't want to say it was a predictable film, but I felt like so much was shown in that trailer that was leaked. The trailer that came after that was a little better, but ultimately I felt too much of the good stuff from the movie was probably leaked, and I feel like it really was, but yeah, the trailer was, I don't know, well, that's another story, but ultimately, I mean, I can't say I feel like I was let down because I didn't expect it to be really that good. If I'm being honest, I didn't expect to love it. I didn't expect to go in thinking this is going to be the closest thing to Halloween 1978 or anything like that, or even at the level of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch or anything like that. Which, of course, those are my two favorite films in the franchise. Nothing else is even close to those in my opinion. Uh, but ultimately, there are certain things I definitely probably like more than the Halloween 2018 one. I probably liked this movie a little bit more than Halloween 2018 after I got out of the theater. Not a lot more, but a little bit more. A little bit more. I was kind of 50-50 on stuff. A lot of it didn't work for me and a lot of it did. So it really kind of depended. And I'll kind of go into my likes, and you go into your likes, and then I'll go into my dislikes, and you go into your dislikes, and we'll see how similar some of them are. But you never know. So first off, I got to make sure I'm not ignoring the chat altogether here. I did see a couple new people drop in, I believe. Yes, Carlos from Lazy Reviewer dropped in, and Mario Degree Centigrade also dropped in. Hey guys, how you doing? All
What's up,
right, so now,
everybody?
so it didn't. So yeah, like I said, I don't think it really disappointed me because my expectations weren't that high. But can I say I liked the movie? I don't know if I could give it that like is I was okay with the movie. I think I was okay with the movie. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. It's kind of like right in the middle for me right now. And who knows, maybe I'll watch it more and like it more or hate it more. I don't know. But I'm just kind of going at it from the angle that I know what I want from certain
Hmm.
things, and if there's a close comparison, I guess it kind of feels the same to me as the remake for Texas Chainsaw Massacre did, where I feel like certain things were executed really well, and then other things were executed really, really poorly, and it's those poor things that kind of stick out a little bit to me. So, anyways, let's get into it. What did you like about it? What were some of your favorite things about this movie?
So first off, James Jude Courtney playing Michael Myers. He does a
Mm,
perfect job. Now I know he shared the role. Nick Castle, even he's older now. He still has some cameos here and there as
I heard
Michael
that his
Myers.
cameos got cut, though. I heard that Nick Castle's cameos got cut, although any breathing you heard was apparently Nick Castle.
Yeah,
That's just what I heard. I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but yeah, I mean, but anyways, go ahead.
and then they had Aaron Armstrong who also played him, but that was only in the flashback scenes when they would go back to 1978. Now I like that on the 1978 part because when 2018 ended, they kept going back to how she survived the night and all this other things that like that. But they showed, Loomis shoots Michael. He falls out the window and he sees him laying on the ground. And then when he looks back, he's gone. Well, they never really tied up that loose end, right? So I like how they kind of went back and tied it up that Michael kind of got up, but then the cops came and they what was it? He held one of the cops, I think it was, hostage, and the other one had to shoot him or something to that effect. But it came full circle, tied it together, and I was like, okay, so that mystery is set aside over here. Um, Jamie Lee Curtis playing Lori still does fantastic, even though she had, I think, a combined like 3 minutes of screen time for the whole movie. I still think if they
I'm
were
sure
going
she had more than that. She must have had more than that.
somebody said that when you take her scenes and put it all together and timed it, it was like 3 to 4 minutes.
Really?
So
I would think more, but okay. Not. I
I'm
won't
just
be
going
totally
off of
surprised.
hearsay, but she still always knocks it out of the park as that character. But we've discussed, and we'll discuss that probably a little bit later about my thoughts on that, which you and me have both come to an agreement on. I like Sheriff Brackett coming back and learning where his life, how it took a turn for the worse after losing his daughter and everything. And there's a lot of things I could mention that I liked. Oh, and the kills. Yes, I like the kills. The kills were real brutal. For the first time, I think I even said this to Luke as we were watching it. For the first time, you can actually sense emotion from Michael. There's malice behind his kills. Where before, when he would kill, it was like he would kill, but then he would just stare at it like like a dog tilting its head, when he does a little head tilt, like he was just curious, like about it or whatever. Now it's like when he was stabbing that guy in the back with multiple butcher knives, that was malice right there. That was just straight up anger. So I kind of like that.
Okay. Fair enough. Anything else? We'll
No,
see what the chat has to say. If you in the chat, let us know what you liked about Halloween Kills as well. Hey, I see Joe from Fangoria. Faithful is in as well. Hey, Joe, how are you doing? We showed off your poster that you did for Michelle earlier. Awesome poster. Michelle has told me that the new one, the official one, is looking awesome. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't wait to see it because that teaser poster he did was just phenomenal. Loved it. I was like, that's not the official poster. That should be, So I can't wait to see the official one. But thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Um, let's just see what some of these people are saying. Of course, I'm already seeing a lot of Evil Dies Tonight in the chat. Yes, but you didn't. I'm sure people didn't love that too much. So, oh man, anything positive to say? I'm looking for positive stuff. Okay.
and I could also add this too. The way they shot the movie, the way they always kept Michael in the shadows, that was something I forgot. The way they shot that, yes, that was awesome as well. The movie was shot beautifully, and the score, which John Carpenter is always going to knock it out of the park when it comes to the score.
Gotta admit, Michael Myers from Kills was intimidating and gave me chills, especially in the scene where he stalks Lindsay in the forest. I do have some thoughts on that too, Carlos, but I don't disagree. But I have some extra thoughts on that scene. But yeah. Anything else positive? I want to see some positivity right now. Because we know that a lot of people are, there's definitely a lot of issues with this movie. We'll get to those issues. I want to try to focus on the positive. I don't know if that's necessarily positive, but I like how Michael didn't kill this kid that was getting picked on by his friends. Even Michael has a heart. But he doesn't, does he? But anyways, but I see what you mean. But he liked it. It's positive. There you go. Oh man, what is Eric from He's Crafty? I also love This was the only Halloween where at the end they didn't kill Michael Myers, only to have him pop up or open his eyes before it cuts to the credits. Michael won. To think about that now. Really? Only Halloween where at the end they didn't kill Michael Myers, only to have him pop. Didn't they do that? But he didn't die in Halloween 5.
Mm-mm.
He was
No,
in jail. Well, in fact, he escaped jail, and
yeah.
even Halloween 1, he got killed. But so maybe that's sort of along those lines.
I mean, even
Like one,
Halloween 4, he the mob
well, they
came and
kind of.
shot him, and he fell down in a well, and I think he was in a coma, and the old
I
hermit
think
took
they
care
were
of him.
still they were trying to imply that he had died though in that one. Like both Halloween 2 and Halloween 4, they're trying to imply that this is the end of Michael. Let's move. Let's I think they've tried to kill this character
Hmm.
off a few times. H2O, Halloween 2018, they definitely tried to kill him off. They're trying to kill him off, and yeah, I don't know. I kind of get his point, but I think there's a couple films though where that didn't quite happen. But anyways,
Well, I mean, John Carpenter and Deborah Hill have both stated for a long time that they wanted to get to a place where they could just off Michael and let that be the end and then move on to other things, which Halloween 2, that was supposed to be his true death. But then Halloween 3 comes along, which is not a bad movie at all. It's actually a great movie, but it got such
I love it.
backlash because it
Yeah.
didn't have Michael in it that they were almost, their hand was almost forced to bring him back for
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6.
Yep. I get that. Joe from Fangoria Faithful says, yes, I had no idea she's putting it up. I've been busy on multiple projects, but knew the new one is almost done. Just happy that they made another Halloween. Always great. Yeah. Yeah. So you didn't realize that the teaser poster was up? I love that teaser poster, but the official one I haven't seen. She said you're not quite done it yet. So mum's the word. I haven't seen that yet.
I'm
But
using
yeah,
it as
awesome
my
poster.
screensaver at work, actually.
Oh, really? There you
Yeah.
go. That's how awesome it is. That's how awesome it is, Joe. You're good shit, Joe. Just remember that. You're good. You're damn good. I'm always trying to spread the word about you. I keep hearing people saying, "Oh, we need graphic art." I'm like, I know the guy. I know a guy. I don't know. A lot of people never seem to go through with it. Whatever. Anyways, let me go on to my likes. I guess I'll go on to my likes. Oh, I'll just remove that. Okay, so the flashback scene, I like parts of it. I like parts of it. I like sort of the idea of where it ties into mostly with the character of Hawkins. Unfortunately, Hawkins didn't do much in this movie as a overall character, but I hope that they're going to make the character a a big. There's going to be a big arc for that character in Halloween Kills. I hope. Otherwise, I'll be pissed at this flashback a little bit more because I mean, really, it's at the end of the day, the flashback, other than tying up the loose ends, which I get that, but at the same time, I wanted to serve a purpose to the overall story. It does serve that purpose, and I think for the most part, it looks very, very well done. They did a great job making it look like 1978. Um, they're probably the only truly suspenseful part of that movie was in that flashback scene. Um, only like there's other parts that were close for me, close,
Hmm.
and just not quite. If they did a couple little things different, we'll get there because that'll go in more to my dislikes. I think more than anything else. The kills, but at the same time, the kills didn't do a lot for me simply because I saw them all in the trailer.
Yeah.
So at least I feel like I did. They showed so much in the trailer, but yeah, they are brutal kills. At the end of the day, though, that doesn't kills don't do a lot for me. So as great as they are. I saw them all in the trailer pretty much, for the most part, and I didn't necessarily need all those kills, but I knew going into it that this was going to be a lot of carnage in this movie because of the title. I think I can honestly say that the overall acting was pretty good. I don't want to say outstanding or anything. Um, some of it may not have come across as that good. I think that would go towards another aspect of the movie, though, rather than more the actors themselves. But for the most part, I liked the acting overall. I was surprised that I liked the character of Lonnie Elam as much as I did, because he was kind of a nothing character in the original, but the older version, in the movie, he was probably the most likable overall and believable character in the film. Lindsay Wallace was pretty good. And actually, she surprised me because I know she hasn't really done much acting, so I was surprised that what's her name? Can't even remember her name. Kyle Richards. I'm surprised that she acted as well as she did, because I know she hasn't really done any acting since 1978, pretty much. Anyways, and maybe she's been in a few things here and there. And I know she was on a reality show or something like that, but that's about it. So I didn't expect to like her as much as I did, but good on you, Kyle Richards. You did great. You surpassed my expectations on your acting in this movie. So the acting is more or less it's definitely a pass for me. For me, it is. Everybody. What else can I say? There's more suspense in this film than there was in 2018. More atmosphere. That they went sort of back to the original aesthetic with the the more blue lighting, kind of like what you got right now. Oh, you're mixing it up. You got like a multi-light thing going on.
Yeah.
Can't see your face very well though. You're backlit. You're like a silhouette.
You gonna turn my light
He's
on?
like, you don't want to see my face, do you? I should be saying that. You guys don't want to see my face.
Hold on, give me just a second. I'll open that door up a little bit.
It's all good. I was just maybe you didn't want to be seen.
No, I didn't realize we got cloud cover. It's gonna probably rain here this evening. There we go.
There you
hey,
go.
you can see me.
You can definitely see a lot better now. Where was I? I was talking about this movie a little bit. Oh yeah, so yeah, a little bit more suspense. Still, I need more. I need more. I mean, I know that movies have changed now, and they don't want it to be a slow burn. I get that, but it's just some of the atmosphere in the original. I mean, that whole scene of Jamie Lee Curtis going over to the Wallace house, the amount of suspense that builds up for that whole entire scene. The music, Laurie's theme as she's walking over, and then it cuts to nothing when she gets inside the house, and there's like hardly any sound, and you just hear her dialogue, and then all of a sudden she looks up the stairs, about to ascend the stairs, and there's that bung 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 bung, right? It's brilliant. It's hair-raising kind of suspense atmosphere. You don't quite got that in this film, and I think there's a couple reasons why. And we'll get to that in the dislikes a little bit, but there is. I have to appreciate there's more suspense than there was than the 2018 film. Maybe that's why I like this film just a little bit more than the 2018 film. But again, my biggest positive, this was my biggest positive of the 2018 film. It's my biggest positive of this film. James Jude Courtney. He's your new Nick Castle. I honestly, I don't think you could ever get a better person to play that role nowadays. I mean, Nick Castle was the OG, and he'll always still be my favorite because he originated it. It was there would be no James Jude Courtney if it wasn't for Nick Castle. So I have to give it to Nick Castle. But man, James Jude Courtney is awesome. He has just got it so down. He's really got it down. So much more than any other person in the entire franchise had. Way more. He's got Nick Castle's movements down, and some people think that's easy. Oh, you stick any guy in the costume with a mask and it'll work. No. Body language, physical acting, so important. The only thing he doesn't really have to do is facial expressions, but or speak. But man, he's got it. He's freaking got it. He's got it. I really just, I really hope we can get him a really good script to anyways, hope that somebody's going to get him a good script to play the character in. But with that being said, that is definitely my number one positive. That's the thing that lifts these movies up more than anything else for me is James Jude Courtney as Michael Myers. These movies probably would become unlikable movies for me if it wasn't for him. Oh, there she is. Michelle Blasky's here. Just joining. We've been talking about you all night, Michelle. joining late, just saw H Kills. Well, feel free to tell us what you liked about it. We're talking about likes right now, but I think we're pretty close to getting into our dislikes now. But anybody else? Let's see if anybody else says anything here. Yes, he does a great job. Good job playing Myers. He does damn good. That's for sure. Eric,
If you did a side-by-side comparison between him and Nick Castle, you take that 78 film and these last two films, 2018 and Halloween Kills, I don't think you could tell a difference between the way he walks, the way he holds a knife, the way he turns his head. Everything is the same mannerisms that Nick Castle had.
It's very close. Yeah. I mean, I remember when the first trailer for Halloween 2018 came out, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, I think this is Nick Castle. This is probably James Jude Courtney, but this is Nick Castle." And this, there's a lot of speculation on who because you're looking at certain movements and stuff like that. And it was like, well, it's all Nick Castle, it's all James Jude Courtney except one shot. Once that was found out, it's like, are you kidding me? You mean he did that one where and because there was a lot of that. There was a lot of people like, there's no way that James G. Courtney could mimic those movements as well as he did. But at the same time, you got to remember Nick Castle's old, so could Nick Castle do a lot of that stuff anymore?
Probably not.
And just because he did it 40 plus years ago doesn't mean he can do it anymore. He's doesn't even mean he could really remember how he did a lot of that stuff. It was in the moment sort of thing. So, yeah. Eric from Heathcrafty, I don't think they should have announced it was going to be a trilogy. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it really puts a strain on what this film could have been. Yeah, I can kind of understand that for sure. I definitely can. I don't know. Yeah,
that was one of my dislikes, and that's just for the films in general. These last two, I feel like if you'd have left it in, a what if scenario, because you're at the end of the 2018, you're like, okay, is there going to be another one? It builds that anticipation. You don't know, was that it? Because that was the perfect ending. He's burning up in the basement of this house. So if you don't announce it's a trilogy and then all of a sudden you hit him with, okay, Halloween Kills, he escaped everybody. Now you got him,
I hear you. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely, I can, I wish that they were just kind of like, because the Halloween 2018 was its own film. And there was, at the time, there was nothing planned, but it was so successful. I think that they were planning to kill him off in that movie. It was like, because he was killed off. He burned in the fire, just like he did in Halloween 2, but still came back. But anyways, that's beside the point. But when something makes money, it's about how can we make more money, and why make just one more movie when you can make two more movies or three, even three. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the studio was like, right, like we need you guys to come up with plans for the next 5 movies in this series, and probably David Gordon Green and what's his name, Danny McBride, probably said, hey man, that's a lot. We'd be willing to do a trilogy for it. There was probably a compromise there.
Or they just kill Michael off altogether, but then all of a sudden a copycat killer comes into the equation and takes up the mask. I would not put it past them.
I doubt the studio would have enough balls to try something like that, though. It seems like every time a filmmaker wants to try something ballsy, like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, Like anytime they have killed off Michael in any of these films, and every time the next sequel comes, it's nope, Michael's back, and we've seen that too many times. We've seen it time and time again. I get it. Michael is your poster boy. He's what sells the tickets. But for me, at the end of the day, these films are called Halloween, and I kind of wish that they could have done more movies that felt like they were about Halloween. But I get it though. Michael's an icon. Okay, well, shall we get into what we don't like? What we don't like.
We'll get into the yucky yuck.
May as well get into it.
Oh,
Okay, go. You can start, sir.
you touched on one, and that's pacing. I like the slow pace of the original. It builds anxiety, right? So the longer something drags out, you keep waiting. Okay, when's he going to attack Lori? He's stalking her. Where's he at? All this. It's like he gets out of that basement and he's just going ham. I mean, it's like you just put the pedal down to the floor and you're just full speed ahead, and he's just mowing through everybody. And it's like, the best analogy I can use is you've got this beautiful meal at this 5-star restaurant, but instead of savoring it, you're just trying to eat it all at one time. Where with the original, you savored it. That's why that one is so enduring, and that's why that one's so legendary, and people still go back to it because the pacing of it was great. I didn't like some of the characters, to me felt like they could have done the movie without. As much as I'm a fan of Anthony Michael Hall and Rusty Griswold from National Lampoon's Vacation, I felt like they spent way too much time focusing on him, and that took away from the movie. I felt like you could have done the movie without him. I get it. Maybe you were just trying to give a friend some work, whatever, but I felt like, okay, you didn't need that. The whole Frankenstein mob thing at the end, where everybody in town gets their pitchforks and their torches and goes to slay the monster, that was cheesy. I'm sorry. If anybody liked it, I apologize, but I thought it was cheesy. To me, Halloween has always been Lori and Michael. That's the dynamic. They are like the Batman and the Joker of the series. But getting around to that, I felt like Lori at the end of the 2018 should have been in that basement with Michael, because I don't think you need her going forward. Nothing against Jamie Lee Curtis. I just felt like her sacrifice at the end of that one, letting her daughter and her granddaughter get away, would have been perfect to establishing her as a strong female hero. What's another one I'm trying to think of?
These are good points, though. These are good points.
There's so many. Sometimes I felt like they were just killing to kill, just to put it on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, well, here's some new people. Let's just, stick a light bulb through her throat and stab him to death. And let's do this. Let's just show how violent Michael can be. And too much, guys. Too much.
Nothing. I was going to touch on that one myself. The interracial couple that gets killed early in the film.
Yep.
I just, you look back at it. Would it have been any of a different film if that wasn't there at all? If those characters and those kills didn't exist, would the film be any different at all?
No, not at all.
And it's kills for the sake of kills. I don't think we need it. I don't know why it's there. It's just, let's add up the body count. Because there's just no point. There was no point to it. I was hoping something was going to be alluded to or something, like him stabbing one guy over with all the different knives. I was expecting to see something symbolic about it. Maybe there is, and I just not grasping it. Maybe he was just testing out the knives to see which one was the sharpest. I don't know, so he knows which one he should kill with all the rest. But I mean, it felt pointless to me. I thought he was gonna like put a symbolic sign in, something that means something, like the mark of Zorro with the knives, and create that sort of image with the knives, and then it would have at least given some purpose to the scene. But I felt like there was zero purpose in that scene.
I
Zero
just got
purpose.
that
Just kills
that
for
he
the
was
sake
just
of
like,
kills.
I got that he was just really pissed off. But I was like you. I was like, if they go and they show this guy's back and he's got the coat of thorn mark on his back, then I'm done. I'm
Well,
done.
I don't know if
So
well, again, they're doing a lot of callbacks. It wouldn't have surprised me, but honestly, I would have preferred that than nothing. I would have preferred a call to something rather than nothing, because it just felt like it was absolutely pointless, that scene. There was absolutely nothing important about that scene,
no,
and it's just filler. It's nothing but filler.
I mean you're just trying to
Kills for the sake of
establish.
kills.
You're just trying to establish that he's this big murder tank. Which anybody that's followed this series, we know that. We already know that. That's established. So why do we need to waste those scenes on characters that are not adding to the overall story?
Yeah.
That just felt like a throwaway scene that could have been on the editing room floor. But um, I felt like they had the perfect opportunity. Everybody could say they hate Halloween 2, the original. So many people say, well, they should have never made Laurie and Michael brother and sister. I agree. I didn't like that either. But I liked the overall movie from the atmosphere standpoint of everybody being trapped in this hospital with Michael.
Mhm.
It gives it more, puts you more on edge. It builds the anxiety because you're trapped in here with him and you don't know where he is. And I felt like that was a missed opportunity because they could have based it around Haddonfield Memorial Hospital because that's where Laurie was. And who does he want more than anybody right now? Laurie. So that was wasted to me. But just to say that the movie was completely bad, no, I can't say that. But it just felt like so much of it was just fan service and filler.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. That's for sure. I can't argue. Yeah. I mean, let's see what some of the people in the chat are saying.
I know I'm gonna probably get crucified for a lot of the things I'm
What?
saying, but
No. No. I don't think. I think people are,
and it's not
not
because I
not
hate the
necessarily everybody. Not necessarily everyone's going to agree with you, but I mean, even I'm not going to agree with you 100% on stuff. But it happens, right? I mean, uh, yeah. Let's see what some of these people are saying in the. Oh yeah, chasing the wrong guy. That part was.
yeah.
I get it. I get what they were going for, and there is something emotional about that. But at the same time, man, it really. I don't know. It wasn't well done. I think I get what they were trying to do, but I don't think they executed it right.
Yeah, it's clearly this guy has got a height disadvantage to Michael. His
There's
body
like,
type is nowhere near Michael Myers. Michael Myers looks like a football linebacker.
yeah.
This
Oh
guy
yeah.
was a little.
Oh, we lost John. Uh-oh. How did we lose John? Hopefully he'll be back. Oh man. Well, we'll see what you guys are saying in the chat. Well, he might have a bad internet connection. StreamYard is funny that way. Oh, there we go.
I'm
He's
back.
back now. There you go.
I was like, oh
Internet
no.
connection. It happens to some people sometimes. I was on I think it was on Kyle's stream actually, and his stream kept coming out on his when I was a guest on Kyle on Flet's House of Horror. It happens. I'm lucky that my internet here is pretty good, so I haven't had that happen to me. I've had my whole stream shut down on me before, which is not fun. I think some of you guys probably remember that. Just kept trying to get it back up. No, had to restart it. That sucked. But anyways, Christian Spencer, yeah, I think he was testing the knives, and then find the kitchen knife.
Yeah, even that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably what he was doing. It just did we need to see all that though? Like
No.
I I don't know. I just felt like that's not something that you need to focus on. Michael testing the knives to see which one is the best one for killing. I don't feel like that's something we needed to see. And when you show it, you almost want to think it's got to be something more important that he's doing. At least that's what I was getting from it. I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's probably doing something. This is probably gonna mean something, and that's just the creative. Anybody who's got an imagination is probably thinking about, oh, what's he's trying to say with all these knives? What is this going to mean? And for him to just be testing the knives, it's like, yeah. And Christian Spencer also said, hated the dialogue. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I got a big issue with in this film.
Another one that I have that's maybe kind of, I don't know, me just being nitpicky because I'm a fanboy of this person, but where the hell's Danielle Harris in these? If you're going to do callbacks and all that, why can't you include her? She's actually been chomping at the bit. She's actually been like petitioning and everything to want to be included in this.
Yeah, I can get that, but at the same time, part of me is like, well, you don't necessarily need either. I don't think you need any real callbacks necessarily, but it's fan service. But I mean, I would probably only want Danielle Harris if we're getting Jamie Lloyd again. But in these movies, that whole timeline doesn't exist. So even if you had Jamie Lloyd in this, it wouldn't be the same Jamie Lloyd that we grew up with in Halloween 4, Halloween 5, right? It would be a totally different Jamie Lloyd. It would be in name only, and probably wouldn't make much sense. So
yeah,
I
but
can
still
kind of understand that.
The same actress playing the character. I mean, would it really matter to the fans? I think they would just been happy to see Jamie Lloyd back. And I mean, yeah, it's too late to include her now, of course, but there could have been a dynamic in the 2018 where Laurie had two daughters, and one Jamie Lloyd could have not been in 2018, and then in this one she could have showed up to help her family, or something.
And I get that, but at the same time, you still have to remember it still wouldn't be Jamie Lloyd that we knew in Halloween 4, Halloween 5. It could be Jamie Lloyd. Again, it should be Jamie Lloyd in name only, and I think that you might be doing a bit of a disservice to the character if you're redoing the character a totally different way, and because none of Halloween 4 or 5 would be canon, right? So just keep that in mind. It just wouldn't be the same Jamie Lloyd. So I don't know. It'd be cool to see her in one of these movies, but again, for me, if I really want to see it, I would like to see a proper sequel to Halloween 4. Ignore Halloween 5 and just do a real ballsy sequel to Halloween 4 where Jamie Lloyd is the killer.
Which was what it was supposed to be anyway.
It's what it was supposed to be, but that was what the writer wanted. Alan McElroy or whatever. That's what he was saying. Hey, now we don't need Michael anymore. She's your new Michael. She basically, that was what he was saying. And I know Michael is just iconic, I guess. It's just,
well, I don't think at the time, the 80s, 1988, I don't even know if we're still ready today. Would we have been ready for a child killer? Especially in that point in time in the world. You got this little 10-year-old girl going around just offing everybody in a clown costume. So I get that. That might have been a little bit too much.
It may have been ahead of its time, but I would have appreciated it for the balls it would
Yep.
take instead of what we got. Instead of what we got with Halloween 5. Halloween 5 took no risks. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It took some risks and it took a risk in killing off the Rachel character and bringing in Tina. Thinking, I think it was just poor judgment and thinking, they'll love this Tina character way more. And I'm not the biggest Tina hater. She's no Rachel, though. We'll say this. I don't hate Tina like a lot of people hate Tina. I don't love her either. But, man, Rachel was great. Why replace her? Why
And
replace Rachel?
I hated that whole psychic link crap, too. That was just terrible.
Yeah, that was, yeah. It was not good. It's not talking. We're not talking Halloween 5. We're talking Halloween Kills. And I got enough stuff to hate on with this one. Well, I don't want to say hate on, but I got some issues. I got some problems with this film, and I got a list of stuff. Yeah, dialogue. Christian said it a couple times, I think. Dialogue bad. Sorry, I missed it. Drayton Sawyer here. Yeah, sad the actor died. Which actor died? You gotta clarify.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that anybody had passed
in the
away.
chat as well. RCP Net. Greetings from Argentina, Steve. Hey, thank you for joining in from Argentina. That's cool. I think I've had one or two. Well, at least I think I've had one person from Argentina before. I can't remember if Santi from Scream Queens is from Argentina. She might be. She's from like Brazil or something like that. Argentina, Brazil. But yeah, thank you for joining in. Really appreciate that. Mandy can't. Hey, Mandy wanted to see him test the knives. Okay. You know what? I could have seen them testing a couple. That would have been enough for me though. Like you saw him stab him like 6-7 times. It got redundant after a while for me personally.
Yeah. It was like, shoot, not that one. Shoot, not that one.
Drayton Sawyer, the guy that played the mental patient died. Really? He died in real life. Oh goodness. Well, that's sad. That's kind of too bad. I was, he's probably the person I felt most for in the movie, and for him to die in real life, it just makes it even that's too bad. Ross Bacon, that's his name. That says Jared, or the Drayton Sawyer, whatever you want to call him. Jared. His real name's Jared, in case you didn't know. Drayton Sawyer. He's not really Drayton Sawyer. We know that. But I know his name is Jared. I think I know everybody's names now. I know that the Lazy Reviewers is Carlos. I know that He's Crafty is Eric. I know that Degree Centigrade is Mario. That was the longest one for me to finally get a name out of him. But anyways, getting off topic. So dialogue was not good for me. It goes beyond Evil Dies Tonight for me. Evil Dies Tonight is not good. The amount it's said and some of the awkward places that it's put. But it's not the only bad dialogue in this movie. This movie is littered with over exposition and saying things for the sake of saying things, and it was a lot of it was unpleasant. Dr. Loomis, they got the look pretty good. The voice was voice of Doctor, but the dialogue made it the worst. I could have settled for the voice. It wasn't perfect. It was passable. It was passable, the voice, but what he kept coming out of his mouth. Did the evil kill again? Did it kill again? Did it? Come on now. It felt so off to me. I didn't feel like it was Dr. Loomis. So yeah, dialogue didn't work for me. Story. The story is a mess. The whole story is just all over the place. It's like 5 stories in one. And I get so lost into like what's happening because there's just too much going on. The movie never really has a lot of time to really breathe. For you to really feel stuff at certain parts. It's just, I don't know. The lack of a protagonist. There's no protagonist in this movie. I don't know who to root for. I don't know who I'm supposed to be feeling for. Times it felt like Tommy was the protagonist. At times it felt like Karen was the protagonist. Sometimes kind of Lori a little bit, but not really. But I don't know. It was so disjointed that way. There is no protagonist in this movie. There really isn't. I cannot clearly say there's a protagonist in Halloween Kills, and I think it needs that because if there's not a protagonist, I don't have a lot of people I can really care for. So I don't know. As far as the suspense goes, again, the suspense I liked most was in the flashback leading up to um, the cop's death. That Hawkins act. Leading up to that. Um, so that was probably about the most suspense. There could have been great suspense for me when Lindsay was being stalked in the woods. It was good, but it could have been great. And I feel like what they did wrong was they showed Michael too much. They showed where he was pretty much all the time. And if you showed him at the beginning of that chase, and then all of a sudden it's like, where the hell is he? Imagine the amount of suspense that would bring if you just didn't see him again, and until you know, yeah, if all of a sudden he was just gone, and um, I don't know. It just I felt like there was so much potential for huge suspense in that scene, and we got just a little bit. And it wasn't enough for me. I want more. Give me something to really be like, oh my god, on the edge of my seat, And we didn't get that. We didn't get that. So, even though it was good, that scene, I liked that scene in the woods, but I would have liked it more if they didn't show us where Michael was the whole time, pretty much. So, yeah, I mean, I think there is room for suspense in these movies. There is room for more atmosphere, more of that dynamic, and I just think that they gotta do it. I will say this: a lot of the score from this movie was, score we've heard in past Halloween films, and that was pretty good. Although there was one piece of music in this that felt very off to me. I'm trying to remember exactly where it was. I think they even played it in the end credits a bit. It just did not feel Halloween at all. I was like, what the hell is this music here? I think it was more towards the end when, the climax at the end. I'm like, this music feels all wrong for this scene. Again, took away from the suspense. There could have been more suspense for me at that ending, but the music was just totally throwing me off. Hey, Jordan from Jake Hart's Arts is here. Hey, Jordan, how's it going? just hopping on. just hopping on. I actually liked Halloween Kills, I think, even more than the second time around. Maybe I will like it more the second time around. I would personally give it about 8.6 out of 10. But I 100% understand the criticism and flaws. Yeah, I don't know what I would rate it. Like, I'm kind of feeling kind of right down the middle at this point. So I mean, if I was to give it a rating out of 10, probably like around a 5 out of 10. But with that said, my first impression is still higher than Halloween 2018. So it's got that going for it. But again, some of the things in Halloween 2018 really didn't work for me. But I'm not really here to talk about that film too much. At least I'm not. I don't know. Yeah, Loomis dialogue, and okay, and this is something I might get a little bit of hate for, and I'm okay with getting a little bit of hate. I think in the flashback, as I've heard a lot of people say, they love this, and that was the portrayal of Michael in the flashback. Now, don't get me wrong, he looked exactly. They did a great job making him look like Michael Myers, but whoever played him, I know it wasn't James Jude Courtney.
No.
I know it wasn't James Jude Courtney. The only time in that entire flashback that I felt Michael from the original at all was when he kind of came out of the closet and attacked the cop. It reminded me of when Bob got attacked the way he did in the original. Other than that, the movements, I was not feeling the movements at all. I'm going to be totally honest, guys. I know a lot of people loved the way that the way he was, and he looks exactly. They got the look down wonderfully, but the movement is not there, guys. I'm sorry. The movement was so off for me. I
It
did
was
not
kind of
feel Michael Myers.
it was kind of herky jerky to me. Like it didn't
A
have
little
that
bit.
float.
It was.
That
It, it felt more like a Dick Warlock Michael Myers than
hmm
it did a Nick Castle one. And maybe I'll change. Maybe I'll watch it again and it. But it on first viewing, it really. I was like, no, this doesn't feel like Michael. This doesn't feel like the Shape. I want to feel the Shape. I want to feel the Shape from 1978. I don't want to feel Michael Myers from 81. I want to feel the Shape from 78. And I didn't feel that other than the way he looked. And getting the look is great. Getting the look down is a great thing. Don't get me wrong, because it always kind of baffled me how they never were consistent with the look. It should be they're not totally consistent in other horror franchises either. Jason has had different masks in pretty much every film, and Freddy's makeup is always a little bit, it's more or less the same though, but there's subtle differences. But yeah, I mean, Michael Myers is always quite a bit different. And so same with Leatherface. Leatherface, it's like the masks and costume kind of changed dramatically, whereas some of the other guys not quite as dramatic. That's for sure. But they nailed the look. But I think the actor portrayed him. I don't know why they didn't just put James Jude Courtney in that. Why did they get somebody else to do that? It really baffles me why they wouldn't do that. I don't
that's.
know.
I mean, you can't say it was they were going for younger because he's under a mask. You're not
He's
going
under.
to.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You're just after it for the movement. I just feel like, man, if you would have had James Jude Courtney in that costume, that would have been iconic. Instead, you put whoever that was, and man, it doesn't make sense to me. I know some people have praised that performance. I'm like, I see a different performance than you guys did, as I wasn't feeling it. Like I said, other than the one part where he attacked, the way he came out of the closet reminded me of 78 Michael. That's it though. But that was the only shot, and it was literally a second shot. So I mean, I can't say that. I just cannot give that guy the praise that everybody's giving him after seeing that. So maybe I'm a tough critic, though. I don't know.
No,
Um,
I felt the same way with it. I did. It was like his movements are a little too quick, and with Michael, it's normally it's predatory. It's slow and methodical. It's not like jerky and grabbing real
mhm.
fast, and that's how I felt. Like you said, Dick Warlock, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't smooth. Like Nick Castle was very smooth the way he moved. He was slow, but it wasn't too slow either. Like when he's walking across the street coming after Laurie, he's not like walking like this, like kind of Dick Warlock did in the second one. He was walking, but there was something about the way he walked. He wasn't running. He was just walking, and he just had a certain type of movement to the way he moved when he walked. It was just it made it made it who it was.
mm-hmm.
Made it who it was. So I don't feel like they should have done that. I feel like they should have had James Jude Courtney play Michael in the flashbacks. I really do. But I might be alone on that. I don't know. I'll see what some of you guys are see what some of you guys are saying in the chat. I hope I'm not alone. But and again, I will rewatch it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll come back and say I'm wrong. I'm not going to watch it anytime soon because I got a lot of shit going on right now. Just saying, I got a lot of shit right now. Drayton, yeah, movements look bad. There you go. At least I'm not alone. That's good. And again, you guys don't have to agree with me, just so you know, because I've seen a lot of people online doing reviews and stuff like that saying, "Oh man, the 78 Michael was just perfect." I just don't know how much people actually are really looking. I really don't know. Honestly, I prefer Kills over Halloween 2018, but honestly, that isn't saying much. I feel exactly the same way. I'm preferring Halloween Kills a little bit higher than 2018, just because it does have a little bit more suspense, I think. But I gotta admit though, the story for Halloween Kills, even though I don't love the story for Halloween 2018 either, but to me it's it's a more coherent story. So there's if I tip the scales, it's close. It's close for me, but I at this time, after seeing it once, I feel a little bit more gravitated to Halloween Kills. But again, not saying much. I agree with that. It was the guy down the street from me walking around on Halloween as Michael Myers. Too robotic and overdone. Yeah, it looked like a cosplayer. That's what I kind of get from it too. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Where were we? Read some people's comments here. I think because he's a 21-year-old Michael that was thinner and smaller. Maybe. Or maybe just not a very good body, actor that way. Physical actor. They focused so much on looking like the original, they forgot what made the original special, especially with its portrayal of Myers. Yeah. Aaron Armstrong played the Shape 78 in this movie. Aaron with the I in it. Interesting. Yeah, never heard of him. I was in a James Hugh Courtney. That's my beef. It should have been James Hugh Courtney, in my opinion. But I know a lot of people won't agree with me on that. That's okay. I think he's mostly a stuntman. Well, he's not a stuntman, and that's fine. You want to use stuntman for certain things, but to do all the physical acting of Michael, just don't think that's right. But also an actor. Well, not a good actor. Well, he's not. Again, it's not hard. It's not. I'm not going to say not a good actor because I need to see more of his stuff. But at the same time, it's not as easy to get those movements as some people might think it actually is. It's actually a lot harder than people would realize. Crystal Michelle, new person in the chat. Yay, thanks for making it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. Give us your opinions on Halloween Kills. Hopefully we didn't spoil the whole thing for you. Okay, that's good. Let's just talk about some other stuff now, stuff that we're maybe a little bit mixed on, that we didn't like, we didn't hate. Let me ask you this. How do you feel about the ending? A lot of people seem to be not liking the ending so much. How do you feel about the ending?
Oh, that's why I didn't necessarily like the whole crowd, like I said, the Frankenstein mob thing. I felt like it was an ending that was never really agreed upon. It's just the way it felt. It felt like they just did a rewrite, and then finally they were like, "Oh, let's just do it this way and be done with it." It felt really forced, if that's fair to say to me. And I don't know if they really needed the whole stabby thing with was it Allison or the other one? It was Laurie's daughter.
Yeah.
I don't.
What's her name? Judy Greer. I know. Karen was her name.
Yeah, Karen. So it's like, did they really need that? Could Michael have just faded off into the distance somewhere, eluding them once again? To me, that's more suspenseful than him just popping up and being like, "Oh, you think I'm down? Nope, watch this," and just kills off half of the town. That was like the kind of like the final straw for me, where it lost me. I was like, okay, when's the credits going to roll?
Thankfully, it wasn't too much longer. I'm kind of mixed on the ending. Parts of it I like. I liked the performance that actually Karen, Judy Greer gave during that final scene, looking, before she gets killed. I'm not 100% sure she actually got killed there. I'm not sure if that's some sort of dream sequence or a vision or hallucination, or I don't know, because it just seemed like Michael came out of nowhere. I know that he was just killed. I know there's not a time lapse of any kind, but it just seemed like that if if that really happened that way, there'd be more people outside panicked about the whole situation. I don't remember seeing that. So I almost felt like maybe this could be a dream sequence, but I don't know. That's hard to say. So I'm not 100% sure that she's dead at this time. I'm not 100% sure. She might be. She
I
might
don't
be. I don't know.
I don't
But
think she is either.
she could very well be. It's so hard to read. It's so hard to read all that, but I definitely felt like there was some symbolism in there with her standing in Michael's bedroom where he killed his sister all those years ago, and looking down, and there was that bit of dialogue earlier in the script where he used to look down from that bedroom. Now she's looking down. It was almost like, is she gonna become the new Michael? Like there's almost little hints to that, like maybe she will. There's something evil that's, I don't know. So I feel like the ending is going to depend on what happens in Halloween Kills. I think there's potential to tie that up really well, but it's going to depend on what they do in Halloween Ends. I think we shall see. I don't know. So I am definitely mixed on it. It feels a little disjointed for sure. But yeah, I'm open to see what happens. I'm not going to write it off completely. Uh, but at the time it was like something felt weird about it. But I don't know if that's what they're going for. That's the thing. I have heard that there is an alternate ending out there somewhere. I haven't seen it, but I've heard a few people talk about it and say, "Oh, this ending is the alternate ending is actually way way better," and they're going to put it on the Blu-ray or whatever as a special feature. Whatever. I mean,
Well, if it was
maybe
way,
it is
way
better.
better,
I don't know.
why didn't they use it? That's the
Well,
question.
studios don't see, studios have their own things in mind. Maybe David Gordon Green or whatever had their own ending plan, and the studio said, "No, do this." It's kind of like the original Black Christmas when Warner Brothers picked it up for distribution. They told Bob Clark, "You have to change this ending to show blah 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 that Claire's boyfriend was actually the killer the whole time, not and you know." And Bob Clark basically said, "No, we're not doing that. Fuck you guys." And he did. Back in those days, directors had enough balls to actually do that. And keep in mind, Bob Clark didn't have quite as much credibility at that point. I mean, he'd made a few horror films, but he was trying to get out of horror films, and he still had the balls to say to Warner Brothers, "No, fuck you guys. This is the movie I made. Release it the way it is, or don't release it at all." And instead, Warner Brothers released it as what did they originally call it? Silent Night, Violent Night, or something like
Mm-hmm.
that,
Something
because they
like
didn't
that.
like the title of Black Christmas, so they released it as that, and then that didn't do very well in the theater, so they changed it back to Black Christmas. So it was kind of showing that the studios didn't really know enough. They at that point, I think filmmakers probably had a little bit more creative freedom because studios just didn't have the formulas yet, the money making formulas at that point to make those decisions. So I That's one of the unfortunate things in these times is the studios do have all that information. They have a chart of what sells, and they have these formulas, and so they tell the filmmakers the film they want, and they go ahead and they do it. Um, and it's too bad unless your name is Spielberg, you do what the studio says. You don't get your creative input really too much. So I doubt that I doubt that Halloween Kills was the movie that David Gordon Green truly wanted to make. I doubt it was really uh the script he wanted to make and shot the way he wanted to shoot it. So I mean, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because I mean, he made a lot of comedy stuff before. I like some of his comedies. I don't like all of his stuff, but I like some of them. He definitely is a capable director, and I think he could. I think he could make a Halloween film that I would like to make. I don't think the studios will let him though. That's my thought. I don't think the studios will let him make something closer to Halloween '78 unfortunately. I could be wrong about that too. Maybe David Gordon Green is over the moon about this, and he's obviously the money's rolling in on these films, so whether I have issues with it or not, it's meaningless because the studio doesn't. They only care about the dollars and cents at the end of the day. And you know what? They got my money to go see it. I
Yeah.
went and saw it. I paid money to see it. I didn't necessarily love it. I didn't hate it either, but I feel like it feels to me like a movie that is still made mostly by the studio rather than the filmmaker, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of too bad. I think it's kind of too bad. I would really like to see some of these filmmakers' true visions. I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon.
That's why we still have
Except for the
indie
indie
films,
films.
sir.
Yeah, that's why we have indie films. That's all I can say. Go support the indie films out there. Anyway, so I mean, yeah, again, not to ramble on too much here, but yeah, the ending just I'm mixed on it. I'm gonna have to watch it a few times before I really have a full analysis of what I think of that ending. I'm really mixed on it. I like parts of it, and other parts feel weird at this time. But again, I have to watch it again. Yeah. What else do you feel kind of mixed on there, John? You feel kind of mixed on certain, like I don't know how I feel about that. Anything you just like, I don't know. I don't know how to
Uh,
feel about it.
I know you kind of like the character of Hawkins and stuff and whatever, but it just the whole going back to the hospital with Lori and Hawkins, sharing a room and an Activia yogurt, just rambling on about the past. It seemed in a movie where I'm complaining also about the pacing, it seemed that slowed it down, but maybe too much,
I hear
because
you.
they always went to that scene when you were already invested in something else that was going on. Then it would go back to the hospital, and them two are just sitting there, talking about what happened on that night, which I get it. We need to know that, but I thought maybe that was all summed up in the earlier flashback. And Hawkins is still saying, well, I forget now. What was he saying? Something about this ain't just your fight, Lori, or something. I can't remember, but it was like he just kept repeating himself or something over and over. I don't know.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I just kind of didn't pay attention to it anymore.
Oh, you know what? I totally agree with you there. It was too much, and I got the point of it, but at the end of the day, Hawkins and Laurie were kind of useless in this movie. And I wanted, I feel like they're setting up Hawkins to be this huge hero, like he's gonna kill Michael in Halloween Ends, and they definitely set that up with what they did. Not sure if they're 100% going to do it. It almost seems pointless to bring Hawkins back if they're not going that route, because otherwise, why did you bring him back? You brought him back just so he could, sit in a hospital the whole time. Because I mean, I thought he was dead in Halloween 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you don't know for sure if people are dead. I mean, Tommy Doyle might not even be dead either, or Karen might not be dead. But again, I feel like Karen would be dead if it's not a hallucination of some kind. But um, more than anything, I like the actor of Will Patton. He's a great actor, and I think he can bring something good to that character of Hawkins. I don't feel like the character was done well in this movie, but I feel like they're setting him up for Halloween Ends. So let's hope that that gets redeemed in Halloween Ends, because again, both Laurie and Hawkins were kind of useless in this movie, and I don't know, a lot of things have just got redundant after a while. The over explaining of certain things. Just some of that dialogue from Tommy was just, do people talk like that? It was too much. And you had the Little John and Big John in the Myers house, and I felt like they were there for comic relief, but comic relief that wasn't funny. Again, it's funny that that these guys have made comedies that for the most part I haven't seen all their films from David Gordon Green, but I've liked their comedies like Pineapple Express, whatever. I like those movies. They have genuinely funny parts in it, but their comedy in these movies doesn't work for me. So why try to bring comedy if it's not going to work? So I kind of wish I didn't really care much for Big John and Little John. The comedy relief didn't work for me. I want to like them, but didn't work. I don't know. And that was another part that had some suspense to it, but it's because I didn't like the characters very much. I couldn't take them seriously. It made it really hard for me to find it suspenseful leading up to their deaths because I didn't like the characters enough. I couldn't take them seriously enough for to feel that suspense that there was. If you really look at it, there is a little bit of suspense in that scene. It just because I think it's because of who they were that I didn't get the suspense there.
Now, when Little
You know,
John goes upstairs and he sees his partner dead in the floor, was it just me or did he seem to lack emotion at kind of? I mean, there's the person he loves laying there in the floor dead, and I think all he says is, "You're Michael, aren't you? This is your house," and this, that, the other, and then it just pans away to Michael walking towards him, and then you don't see nothing else. It was like I felt no emotion from that character whatsoever.
again, I think it's because they're set up as comedic characters, and it's how for them to have turned those comedic characters into serious characters on a dime like that was it was kind of an impossible task. You could have tried; it's not going to work, no matter how good the actors are. Too, I think once you set characters up a certain way, trying to make them serious after that is, you know, is it's easier said than done. And I don't think that they could do that, unfortunately. So again, I wanted to feel more from that part. I could see that I could see it that there was suspense there, but I'm like, imagine if this was Lori in this scene. Like if if it was I don't know. I bet I would have felt differently, but because of who it was, the suspense was gone for me. Michael McDonald, that's his name. Yeah, I know Mike. Yeah, yeah, that's he was great on Mad TV. I love Michael McDonald, but this just I think that this was just not.
He's
This
not
is not
built
the
for
right
horror.
movie. Yeah, these are.
I was just waiting for it. I was like praying. I was like, please God, do Stewart. I just want to see you go. Look what I can do. And I did. It was like, show me something. I mean, if he'd
yeah,
have just looked at Michael and went, "Yeah, like I can do it," I would have been fine. I'd been like, fine.
yeah,
You got me, Michael McDonald. Thank you.
and I bet Michael McDonald can play serious characters. I bet he could. In fact, I think I've seen him play serious characters before. I wish he was a serious character in this movie, but again, it was a choice. I'm guessing the directors made. I know that they're comedic. They more famous for comedy than anything else. But it's not. It didn't work. I don't. I almost wonder if this again. I don't know. Is this studio interference again? You guys are comedy directors. Put some comedy in there for it. Like are they being forced to put some comedy because of their comedy background? I don't know. It's like the first movie with the peanut butter on the penis line really fell flat like it did for most. I don't feel like the comedy in this was as bad as it was in 2018 though. Like there wasn't a lot of those one liners. It just felt like really stupid. I mean, it's not good, mind you, but at the same time, you weren't like there wasn't that line. There wasn't. I didn't feel like there's a peanut butter on the penis line like there was in that movie. Um, which I remember when that happened, and I'm like, what? It just totally took me out. of that film. And I don't think the comedy is good in this movie, but I don't feel like it's quite that bad. Another thing for me, I guess, that I'm a little bit mixed on. This is it kind of goes a little bit with that is and worse than the 2018. I feel like I'm mixed on it in this movie is the amount of profanity and when it feels like it's forced or not. I don't mind profanity, people. I'm not, profanity is real. It's people use it, but how much do they use it? There comes a point where it feels like it's too much. I feel like this movie was almost crossing that line. I feel like Halloween Kills was like on the edge anymore, and it would have felt like unnecessary. Whereas 2018 crossed that line when you got the little. I can't remember the little black kid's name is being babysat, and he's F-bombing everywhere. And, it felt really forced. Like, oh my God, look at this little kid swearing up a storm here. It was so much in 2018 that it was crossing that line. I think anymore, this movie probably would have crossed it. So I'm a little bit mixed. I wish they would have dialed it back maybe just a little bit more. That's nitpicking. I think that is kind of nitpicking, but at the same time, and again, maybe on rewatch, I'll feel a little bit differently. Julian says that was the kid's name. Yeah. I didn't like that. I did not like that in 2018. I was like really put out like how much swearing or like it's just I don't mind some swearing, but it feels like it's swearing for the sake of swearing.
It was starting to make Scarface feel like an after-school special.
Yeah, is that the point? Is to outdo these other films that have the? I think actually South Park now has the record for swearing, and are we trying to do that with a Halloween film though? Do we want to have a Halloween film in that competition for most swears and most F-bombs in a horror film or in a film period? Do you think that Halloween really needs that to be that one of those top movies in that regard? Personally, I don't feel like it's I don't think it's necessary, but again, it took me out of the 2018 film. It didn't quite take me out of this one, but I do kind of wish they would have dialed it back, maybe just a tad. But at the end, when I walked out, I was like, okay, I definitely maybe a little much on the F-bombs, but it wasn't so much like the 2018 one was. You know what I mean? And again, you never know. Maybe I'll count up the F-bombs in this one. There'll be more than there was in the 2018. Sometimes it's how they're used, right? It's not how much there is, it's how they're actually used. So that could have done it. Let's see what the guy everybody's saying in the chat. I see Susie Lopez just joined us. Hello, Susie.
Aloha.
Michelle Blasky. Nothing really happens in this. Also, the beginning where Cameron finds a police officer. I kept thinking they were going back to that. Yeah, where he finds Hawkins. They kind of do, but it's kind of useless, and they kind of tie it in the flashback, I guess. And I think it's going to tie to Halloween Halloween Ends. It's all going to tie together. That would be my guess. It didn't really tie much in this film, but I think it will in Halloween Ends. Sorry. We'll just have to wait and see. It's 2 years until we're going to see Halloween Ends. Is it
something like that? 2 to 3 years.
2023.
Well, no, because this one was supposed to be 2020, but because of the pandemic, it pushed it back.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. Yeah.
So 2023, anyway, probably by the time you get the next one, I would say.
I thought they'd kill him off. Oh, Julian, yeah, the kid. It would too. He was at on the TV at the. Yeah, I remember seeing that. That's. Oh, sorry, we already saw Susie. There we go. You should see the Chucky T. I know I've been meaning to see it. I have no time. I'm gonna see it eventually. I will see the new. I've heard good things. I will see it again. I will see it, just not quite yet. Lots of F-bombs, yeah. It's funny, Chucky. I'm surprised they allowed so many.
Yeah. Well, you got to think Danny McBride's part of this production team, and he's real good about dropping F-bombs. So,
Oh yeah. I didn't even notice the F-bombs. I was more into the film because of the killings. Yeah. And sometimes that can like this movie, I didn't notice them as much, but I did notice them, and I felt there was a few moments where dial it back a little bit, just a bit, just so it's to the point that it's at least realistic. But a lot, I mean, the F-bombs are part of the dialogues. The overall dialogue was, I think, maybe that's another reason why I didn't notice the F-bombs quite as much, is because the overall dialogue was just so bad in this movie. Just 1 year for Halloween.
Oh,
So Halloween Ends will be out in a year. Holy crap!
so they must have
I
did a
didn't.
Lord of the Rings with this and filmed them back to back.
I didn't realize they had Halloween Ends is supposed to jump 4 years later. That's what I've heard too. I did hear that. But the movie itself comes out next year. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question: If it's
And there's
jumping,
Rob Zombie. Yeah.
if it's jumping ahead 4 years, then why did we need to see Karen get killed or supposedly get killed at the end of this one? Then that's my
Again,
question.
it could be simple. Again, just try not to think about it too much. All I can say is maybe it'll make sense in Halloween Ends. Maybe it will make sense. Whether she's dead or not, whether that was a hallucination or just a vision, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't. Again, I'm gonna have to watch that again. I did see some symbolic stuff though. I did see
Yeah, I
some
mean,
symbolic stuff.
if it's a
Just
metaphor for Michael being the one that's killing off her humanity, like you said, if they were going that route, like the old Jamie Lloyd becoming the killer, Michael coming in killing her is like killing her soul, and then him taking over and her becoming like him. Yeah, I could understand that as a metaphor, so to speak.
it would make sense, but I hope that they don't go quite that same route. Though I hope they don't make her the new Michael. I hope they would, if they're going that route, I hope they would make her a totally different monster than Michael Myers was. Um, just because like they're talking about all the trauma and all the bad stuff. That's definitely a big theme with this movie is the bad parts of humanity. You can kind of see that through the trauma and that people experience, and creating monsters with the mob and all that sort of thing. We kind of can see that parallel in there. So if they went like that angle with her, that she became the mob, sort of to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and she kind of becomes a villain in that regard.
And then the next one,
I don't know.
we get a Michael's got a girlfriend. I don't know if we need that per se.
I hope, yeah. Let's not do that now. Let's not do that. They start January. Oh, really? Okay, so it's going to be kind of a production like Halloween 2018. They're going to shoot it in January and have it released by the fall. They had a lot of time on this one. They had a lot of time on Halloween Kills to fix stuff, and they didn't. Uh, John, I got a question for you, says Christian Spencer.
Oh, well, shoot, Christian.
Let's see here. I would like to see the granddaughter. Well, what's your question? Allison is okay. Where's the question, though, Christian? We need a question. Shoot your question, Christian. Michelle. In the meantime, here's Michelle Blasky. See, that is exactly what I thought when she was standing there in the window, like Michael or Judith. Judith was getting taken over by that spirit. Yeah, that was kind of what I was feeling from that. Again, I don't want to see her become like Michael, this indestructible being. I would like to see her become a killer. Do
I mean,
something kind of. I'd like to see her. I would like. You know what I would like? Oh God! I hope I'm not. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling Halloween Ends. I would like to see Halloween Ends. We don't see Michael. We don't see Karen. And you just know that people are getting kind of like Friday the 13th a little bit. You didn't know you didn't see Pamela Voorhees till the very end. And you try to set it up like it's probably Michael killing all these people, but you never see him. You never fully see him. Or maybe you do see him and it's wearing, but it's actually Karen inside. You kind of get what I'm saying, and it reveals that it's Karen being this killer. I don't know if that's the route to go, but at least not wearing the costume or anything. I would like to see something more like that, where we got a killer, and we don't know exactly who it is.
Well, I mean,
You
there's
know,
cases in history of, of people that have experienced such a traumatic event that they themselves ended up taking up the same mantle, so to speak, as the person that caused them the trauma. Like say somebody experienced something with a serial killer or something, and they managed to get away, but that trauma ran so deep that they themselves became curious about what it would be like to kill and stuff. There have been cases of that.
yeah. Eric from Heathcrafties, to set up that epic showdown between Michael and Laurie, and they figured they couldn't kill Laurie or Allison, so Karen drew the short straw. Yeah, it could be. I mean, there's a very good chance that Karen is actually dead in this. I mean, I almost kind of hope not though, because that almost it it makes the ending feel a little bit weak. If that is actually the case, it kind of, I don't know. Depends on
It
how you look
feel
at it though too.
it
Again, I gotta
feels
watch
very
that ending again.
it feels very unceremonious if that's the way they
Yeah,
took her
yeah.
out.
Chris Spencer, John. Okay, so here's your question. I think, John, would you like to see Daniel Harris as Haddonfield resident, or see the news report and come in and save Haddonfield residents? I think I'm
I mean, you could
understanding
have
that
her
right.
come in as like a news, like you said right there. I mean, I don't know if that's what you were meaning, but yeah, like a news reporter, just a kind of like a little, hey, is that Danielle Harris over there? So, like you said, she's not watering down the legacy of Jamie Lloyd, but you could have her make a cameo, like a brief cameo in the background, and you got to pay attention to see. I could see that.
I would like her to be part of it, but I just don't think it serves any point in having her play Jamie Lloyd again. When it's not the same Jamie Lloyd, when Halloween 4 and Halloween 5 is not canon, especially Halloween 4 because of that one I actually like. Whereas Halloween 5 not so much. But when those films aren't canon, it just doesn't feel you can have her be called Jamie Lloyd, but then we lost John again. It's just it wouldn't be the same Jamie Lloyd. So what's the point? Make her somebody else. But I would still like to see her in it. There we go. Cut out again, eh?
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. Anyways, guys, I think that's a pretty good show for for tonight. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up there, John?
No, I mean, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that not to go see this movie. This is just mine and Steve's personal opinions of it. Was it our favorite? No. Was it better than 4, 5, and 6? Of course. Um,
Oh, I like 4. I like Halloween 4.
uh, I was,
I like Halloween 4.
I just felt like they got forced to make it because of 3.
Oh, I do too.
I wanted to see a sequel to 3. Thank God Michelle is doing that. So,
Yep.
you know, um,
Shout out to Michelle. The third
because
channel, everybody. The third channel.
Tom. Well, I'm getting off subject. Sorry, but it left a lot to be desired for me personally as a huge Halloween fan, and I don't like nitpicking it or being negative towards it because I love this stuff, all this stuff, and I feel like the stronger you make these movies, the stronger the studio, or the stronger the movie, the more the studio is going to want to make those movies. If they
I
get
hear you.
weaker and weaker as time goes on, then who's going to want to touch them? Because I'm surprised they even are doing these as is now because of the stain that the Rob Zombies left. That bad taste that everybody had from the Rob Zombie films, and I in no way thought they were terrible, but they weren't Halloween to me. They were something completely different. It was just Halloween and Michael Myers in name alone. And to me, this movie was it was on that cliff's edge of almost hitting into that Rob Zombie territory of just kills to kill, a lot of things not necessarily being fleshed out, characters we didn't need, scenes we didn't need. That's just the way I felt about it.
I definitely I echo all that. I I definitely echo all that. Let's just finish up the chat here. Daniela Harris could have as many timelines as Jamie Lee Curtis, 4-5, the Zombieverse. Yeah, that's true. Much great chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good luck with your soon-to-be new edition. Thank you so much, Michelle. And I forgot to shout you out for Sisters of the Strange. Definitely go check out their latest episode. I think I got the link in my description. I've got so many links in my description. I think I do have Sisters of the Strange in my description, and I apologize if I forgot to put it. If I did. But yes, go check out Michelle's podcast as well as Breathless Beauties, all that wonderful stuff. And thank you so much for tuning in, Michelle. It's good to have you back in the chat. She is in stream filmed by that stream that they're crowdfunding actually doing very, very well. Yes, Danielle Harris is good. Danielle Harris is in a lot of indie films. She's somebody that can be if you want to get her in a film. I'm almost tempted to try to get her for my film, but I kind of.
Well, the thing is, I mean, she's uber gorgeous. I mean, she's like
she's aged, but
yeah, I mean, she's aged, but she's still like, she's still got that sex appeal. So she's easier on the eyes to market and everything. And that's not taken away from her acting chops, because I think she's a terrific actress.
I think she's a better actress than she looks personally. But congrats against the. Oh, thanks, thank you. Yeah, the new edition. We're still trying to come up with a name. We'll figure that out. The kids coming anytime. We don't have a name for. Yeah. Thanks for the show and happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. This is probably my last show until after Halloween, probably, because the kid's going to be born anytime now. I'm going to be in the hospital. I might do like some Facebook Live stuff, but that's about it. Good night. Thank you, Michelle Blasky. Thank you. Thank you all. You guys are awesome, and have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful night. And thanks again to my guest, John. Thank you so much for being my guest tonight. It was kind of last minute too, but I was happy to get you on. It just made sense to have you on, actually. Just thought I was preparing this stream, and I thought, I should get John on. I should. Thank you for doing it. And,
no problem at all.
I'm sure we'll get you on again in the future.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome. All right. Saw you later. Happy Halloween all. Oh boy, this chat's going fast all of a sudden. Thank you all. We'll you guys all have yourselves a good night. Thanks, guys.
Check you later.